Now, what is the instruction to the kings? What is the instruction to the Taoiseach down in the Republic of Ireland, Leo Varadkar? Or what is the instruction to Boris Johnson as we pray that he gets well from this coronavirus? Or anybody else in leadership, Donald Trump or whoever else? Now, therefore, be wise, O kings. Be instructed, you judges of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear. This does not happen today. And you say, well, that's not going to happen. And I know we think that way, but we should never diminish the power of the gospel. There is nothing that restrains God by saving by few or by many. Who is to say that through all this calamity, that the nations, the kings, would not bow to Christ, that he would not change their hearts? We think, no, that can't happen. Why couldn't that happen? I even forget about eschatology for a second. I am post-mill, and I'm biased towards that, but forgetting about that for a second, is there anything that stops God from saving kings and bringing them into submission to him? I hope you say the answer is no. Salvation is of the Lord. This is why we pray for kings. We don't pray for them to continue their evil deeds. We pray against their evil deeds, but we pray that they will come to know Christ. Serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son. Worship him, lest he be angry and perish from the way when his wrath is kindled but a little. Blessed are all those who put their trust in him. So in this day and age, when all these things are happening, these horrible, horrible, horrible things, when, you know what, parts of the world that haven't been hit by let's face it, the deaths are going to come from coronavirus, and we're going to all know people who are affected. In the last few days, I know of a fair number of people who've come down with it are now hospitalized. In the British Isles, I'm talking about even. It's a scary thing. It's a scary time. Blessed are all those who fear him. We have to remember that. No matter what happens to us, whether we're brought home to the Lord tomorrow or whether it's in 50 years' time, the Lord's in complete control. But the greatest blessing is that we remember time and time again, we put it before us, that to be blessed is to be in the Lord, to fear his name, to kiss the Son. And it's not just us, it's also leaders. If you're listening to this and you are a magistrate, you are a judge, there's greater condemnation upon you if you do not bow the knee to Christ than if you hadn't been in that position of power. Because we know from the beginning of Romans 13, we dealt with it the other day, that judges, magistrates, get their authority from God. That's why it says if you resist these magistrates, you're also resisting God. We've got to make sure that when we do, if we ever do, go in against the government, and we are in opposition to tyranny, we make sure it's tyranny, and it's a biblical form of tyranny, and we make sure that this is an illegitimate king in violation of that fifth commandment and that covenant between the people and this king, because the fifth commandment doesn't just go one way.